Night has fallen on the land. The new unit offer consists of 2 golems and shock troops. Ice Bolt is the new card in the advanced action offer. And Tremor Earthquake is the new card in the spell offer. I'll draw out my 5 cards. I draw Promise, Concentration, Mana Draw, Threaten, and thankfully Stamina. I do have a blue die in the source at my use as well. When I take a look at the map, I'm most interested in trying to open it up. I would like to reveal 2 more tiles and try to defeat at least 2 more enemies within this night. In order to prepare for this, I might want to take preparation, but a card like Sparing Power or Mana Search is also very tempting. Alright, after thinking it over, I am going to take Mana Search. Let's see what the dummy player has chosen. The dummy player has chosen Midnight Meditation. Since I've chosen the lower number skill, I'll move my round order token first. I will take Mana Search and place it here to remind myself that I have that ability, and I will discard the dummy player's tactic. As much as I wanted to use movement, I don't think that's the right choice for me now. Instead, I'm going to take advantage of my space, the Mage Tower, to use my influence to purchase another spell. I am going to do that by using concentration to give myself a white mana token, which I will use for the stronger effect of Promise. I will add to that stronger effect 2 influence from Beguile, giving me a total influence of 6. And then I am going to take a mana from the source to pay for one of these spells. Red, blue, and green are all represented in the source. I'm going to take Mana Bolt, Mana Thunderbolt. And I will pay the blue mana in order to do so. So I take this card and I place it on top of my deep deck. I will keep the other 3 cards in my hand. I will clean up my player area and then go back to the dummy player. On the dummy player's turn, he chooses he has no red crystals, so he only has drawn 3. That helps me. I drew my Mana Bolt, Mana Thunderbolt, plus Swiftness when I drew back up to my hand limit. When I re-rolled the blue die, it came back as blue, so I have blue still available to me in the source. I think, as I look at the map, I believe I will begin to make my way to the left. I will take the blue die from the source, use it to gain the stronger effect of Stamina from move 4, and then I will use the basic effect of Swiftness to give myself 2 more move for move 6. That allows me to move over. That allows me to move over 4 and to spend 2 to open up this tile. Let's see what we have. We have a lot of interesting options. We have added a maze, a crystal mine and another keep. If I could somehow generate 3 movement, I would like to move over to the village to be able to plunder it to give myself more cards before moving into the maze. But that's not an option right now. I do think I will go ahead and discard my threatened card, as I don't particularly see myself using influence in one of the next couple of turns. Of course, when I go over to the village, perhaps I'll draw one of the wounds back into my hand, and then I could have used influence to pay for healing. Maybe I'll keep threatened for now. Let me clear up my player area first. Comes up as green. I draw back up 3, 4, 5. No movement whatsoever, which really does not help me. Back to the dummy player. He draws. And he does have 2 green. And he does have 2 green in his inventory, so unfortunately I draw 2 more. Now, with no movement, I'm not entirely sure what I should do. Ideally, I would like to go up to the maze, spend movement to enter perhaps 6 movement, so that I could fight an enemy, defeating it, and gaining an artifact, but I simply don't have any movement. Let me think about this. Well, it really pains me to do this, but I'm going to have to play mana draw, threaten, counterattack, and rage sideways to give myself move 4. With this move 4, I'm going to move to the maze. That will be my turn. On the dummies player's turn, he draws. All right, I have March, a wound, swiftness, tranquility, and mana bolt, mana thunderbolt. Unfortunately, I just don't have access to much mana. Even if I were able to use mana search to re-roll these and one came up blue, I would still have to pay a mana in order to take advantage of even the basic effect of mana bolt. Which means I'm not really going to be able to use this card this turn. I could take a green die from the source and play it on March to give myself move 4 plus move 2 from swiftness. Would give me move 6, which would allow me to draw a brown enemy token, and if I were to defeat that token, I would gain an artifact since I played move 6. But I simply don't think I would have any way to generate enough attack. I think what I will do is to play Well, I could play move 2 to reveal a new tile, or I could play move 2 to take me into the keep. Because it's night, I cannot reveal the keep even when I'm adjacent to it. I actually have to move into it to see what I would be fighting. That's what can make night so challenging. Even so, if I were to go in, I would have 3 attack available to me by each of these cards played sideways, plus 3 attack from my crossbowman, giving me a total of 6. I could play a green die on Tranquility to draw 2 cards. I actually think that's what I will do. I draw Crystallized and a Wound, which is not good. Crystallized cannot help me this turn since I've already played a mana. I've already taken a mana from the source. What I'm going to do then is to play move 2 to open up the next tile. The new tile has a mage tower, a village, and an orc. I will take the mage tower token now. And I am going to take this red die and roll it to see what kind of orc token I will draw. I draw an original. Return that to red. All right. I think I might stay in the maze. Or I could spend my 2 movement from swiftness to move up close to the orc. And then consider moving into the mage tower or into the keep. Either movement would provoke him, meaning that I would have to would have to face him as well. I'll have to think it over. Okay, I'm going to play Swiftness for move 2, which will allow me to move up 1 space from the maze. I will re-roll this. Comes up green. Clear up my player area. Draw up 1 more card, which gives me determination, and then go back to the dummy player. He has 2 white crystals, unfortunately, so he draws 2 more cards. He's getting near the end of his deck. Just 1 card left, actually. All right. Well, again, I have no movement. I don't particularly have access to much mana. The orc is only worth 2 fame. I think what I'd rather do is, rather than challenging him or going into the keep or the mage tower. I'd like to go over to the village. So I will play Mana Bolt sideways for move 1. And I hate to use the card in this way, but since I simply don't have access to much mana now, that's what I'm going to do. I will play Determination sideways for another move 1. That 2 movement allows me to go over to the village. I will clear up my player area. I will draw up to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In a moment, I'll go to the dummy player to do his turn, but while he does that, I am actually going to plunder the village, allowing me to draw 2 more. And of course, I will reduce my reputation by 1. Dummy player goes. Again, I like to place the card sideways here as a reminder to myself that when it comes back to the dummy player, that his deck is empty and he must announce end of round. So now let's go back to me and see with these 7 cards in my hand what I'm able to do. Again, I just don't have access to much mana, which limits my options significantly. I could try going into the keep. Pardon me, I could try going into the mage tower. I could reveal a new tile and see what that holds. Part of me is tempted to go into the mage tower. Okay, I am going to play Druidic Paths to give myself move 2. The move cost of 1 space is reduced by 1 this turn to a minimum of 2. That will allow me to go into the mage tower. Normally it would be 3 to move into the desert, but again, I'm reducing that cost by 1. I will go ahead and reduce my reputation for doing so. I will move myself in and see what I am facing. Again, I'm facing a Savage Monk. I could try using Mana Search to re-roll some of these dice to see if I could come up with blue mana to give myself ranged ice attack 5, but he's in a fortified site, so the ranged attack wouldn't help me, only a siege attack. Alright, so I think I can block him if I take green mana from the source. This will give me block equal to the unmodified move cost of the space I'm in, so that would be 3. I can play this Rage to give myself block 5. And then to generate attack of 5, I could get attack 3 from my crossbowman, and then playing, unfortunately, Crystallize and Snowstorm sideways would give me attack 5, allowing me to defeat the monk. I think that's what I'm going to do. Alright, let's take a look to see what spell I will take. I already have Snowstorm Blizzard, which is really similar to Fireball Firestorm, but having them both together provides me a lot of firepower. Tremor is really tempting because of the reduction it provides to enemy armor. And of course, Misform is tempting because it will allow me to move across the map much more quickly. It's the first night, and I've already revealed a good amount of the map, so movement is not that much of a concern for me, although I'm sure I may come to regret that later. In the interest of balance, I think the best choice I could make would be to take Tremor, so that's what I'm going to do. And I will replenish the offer now. will add Tremor to the top of my deep deck. I will give myself 4 Fame. And I will add a new command token. Clear up my player area, go back to the dummy player, and then take my final turn. Okay, the dummy player announces end of round, and it comes back to me for my final turn. I have 2 wounds, improvisation, and tremor earthquake. I could take red mana from the source to power up improvisation, discarding tremor to give myself influence of 5. Could then add 2 influence from Beguile to give myself influence of 7, which would normally allow me to recruit one of the golems, but my reputation ranking is -1, meaning I'm just 1 short of being able to recruit the golems. That really hurts, because I would really, really love to be able to take them before the end of this night. If I'm willing not to block the attacks from the orc, I would be able to take red mana from the source to power up improvisation, giving myself enough attack to defeat it, but I would have to take 2 wounds. 2 wounds for only 2 fame does not seem like a fair trade-off. Instead, what I'm going to do is take red mana from the source to power up improvisation. I will discard Tremor, give myself movement of 5. And I am going to move 1, 2, and then spend 2 movement to open up this tile. I reveal a keep and an ancient ruin. And since it is night, I place the ancient ruin face down. There's also a monster den there, so this provides me with 1, 2, 3 really tempting options whenever I begin the second day. Dawn is coming.